It's actually finally happening now. And what Chapter 11 is it means the company will file Chapter 11, basically, and settle all their debts, and move things around, and restructure, and basically try to survive. It doesn't mean they die overnight. It means they basically have to restructure. Most companies do not survive it. I think less than 5% actually. Radio Shack, for example. They didn't survive it. So you heard it here first. And you're not going to hear it anywhere else, like the taco places. You're not going to hear it, because GameStop's not going to officially release a statement saying they are, because investors would literally dump. And you're seeing that now. They're dumping right damn now. But what else does he say in this message? It's not over now. So they say, long story short, if they don't knock the next consoles out of the park, GameStop will file bankruptcy. It is actually planned and has been planned since early 2019. So this has been planned for over a year by the heads at GameStop. They are just now telling us the store closures were only to get us to consoles. They even told us all in the meeting to form backup plans. 2020 is indeed the last year of GameStop. And what he means by backup plans is he means they all need to find other jobs, because this one's done. They say unless they exceed sales in consoles by over 150%, then maybe they can make it to mid-2020, but not likely. So, what have we learned? If you alienate your customers, your core customers, your loyal customers, your customers for life, you treat your associates on the front lines like utter garbage, they're even not giving most of them raises this year. Shocking, I know. You don't change with the times. You don't do anything to help in any way, shape, or form. You just try to suck money out of everybody you can. Then you will fail. Businesses cannot run like this anymore. We're seeing it right here. GameStop's a prime example. Are they Blockbuster 2? Everybody's been saying this for years. Hell yes. They're Blockbuster 2, man. The sequel. The much deadlier sequel. And maybe if they did treat everyone right and actually do what they were supposed to do and have a good environment that cares, they probably would have lasted a couple more years. The digital environment probably would have been kind to them regardless, but they could have rebranded in that time, thought up a new strategy, but they didn't give a damn. The people at the top only wanted to squeeze like a damn grape everything that's left out of their customers, out of their stores, out of their loyal employees. Squeezing them like a damn grape, and all you have is a raisin. GameStop is the raisin son. They're in the raisin zone. So my advice to you is to make sure if you have money in these stores, remove them now. Reserves, they're gonna finalize them without telling. Remove all that now. Do not pre-order your consoles at GameStop. The new PS5, the new Xbox, do not pre-order them at GameStop. We have to vote with our wallets here. I'm going to vote with mine. I won't be doing that. I'll be buying mine online. We can vote with our wallets, and we can put it into GameStop once and for all, because they are relying on this console cycle to survive. But they're not telling investors what's really is going on. There's people still buying stock. They're still buying it, and they're going to file bankruptcy, and these people are still buying it. They're so screwed. It's so sad. It's so depressing. So what do you think? Leave a comment below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so we can hit that 100K. You literally could be the difference. You could be the 100th one right now. 100K. So as always, I love you guys. Thanks for making it possible for me to do this for you guys a couple times a week, and to hang out with me in my streams. And just saying, hey, I love your messages. Do not hesitate to message me on Instagram or Twitter. They're attached in the description. And remember to always get on it. Doggone it. Bye. I cannot wait for the sequel, man. I'm so happy. And by sequel, I mean remake, because I'm from Alabama. I don't know what either of those words mean. Yeah. Hey everyone, Camelot331 here, and it's finally time. I've decided to finally make this video and go over the details on why I left GameStop. What happened basically that day and what led me to basically walk out the door. And I've actually kind of touched on this in a previous video before. So if you have tenure at GameStop, you completely have a target on your back because you're making substantially more than what an entry-level store manager would make. So if GameStop can basically get you out the door, they can get another manager in there for $20,000 a year less. Now, let's say they do that in 2,000 stores in 1 year, right? It starts to add up. So they apparently didn't think I was worth that anymore, which I'm probably not. They're probably right. If you have any insight to this, please comment below and tell me if the company you work for or a company you know that a friend works for or something that has a policy that's kind of like that. So the day started pretty much like any other day. I woke up, I was in bed, I didn't want to get out of bed. I contemplated jumping out of my second-story window head first, like everyone does in the morning. But eventually I washed all the filth off from the previous night of terror and crippling depression. Mosey on to the store. Opened the store, got there around 8 o'clock in the morning. Made sure everything was good to go, everything's up to date, schedules are up to date, all the walls are advertised, everything's vacuumed, we're good to go. Go sit in the back at the desk, make sure we have a plan of action, go over anything I need to go over, and just basically wait until the store, opens. So I opened the store, and the day is going by like any other day, dragging along, questioning my existence, having to refuse kids Grand Theft Auto 5 until their parents tell them it's okay because they've seen it on TV before. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. You see a dude's sack, man. Like, you see so many things on Grand Theft Auto. I'm sorry, you don't see this on TV. Like cable TV? No. No. But they didn't give a damn. They're like, it's fine. It's fine. Let Jimmy take it home so he can see all the nudes. He can kill every homeless person he wants. He can hatchet all the females he wants. It's fine. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's fine. When I was 7, I was doing that in real life. So I guess it's better to just do it on a video game instead. So around 11 a.m. hits, and I look out in the parking lot, and I notice my district manager and the head of HR walking towards the building. And then the ASM at the time was accompanying them. Now, I've been through this rodeo before. Back in 2012, there was an HR investigation at the store I was managing at the time. And the HR lady fired every single person in my store except for me and one part-timer because they couldn't find anything on me because I'm by the book. I've always been so by the book. So when I saw them walking towards the door, I knew. I was like, well, this is it. This is it. She's coming to relieve me. Something's happened. I have no idea what's happened. Something's happened. So they walk in, they're like, hey, can we borrow you for a second? Because that's what they always say. Hey, can we borrow you? Because we're going to bring you back eventually. So we go in the back, and I sit down with the head of HR, and he tells me, we've received some complaints. We've received a phone call with some disturbing complaints about you. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory to this situation. The ASM at the time used to joke with me every other day, and she would say, you better transfer. You better transfer. I'm going to get you fired. And she would just laugh it off. You better transfer. I'm going to get you fired. Days are numbered. In the back of my mind, I totally knew she was serious. But anyways, apparently one of the associates in the store, one of the part-time associates, called our HR dedicated line and just told them so many crazy things. I guess just to get them to the store, because the previous store manager, before I transferred in, the previous store manager had gotten fired for the exact same complaints. Like, they didn't even use a different complaint. They're just like, oh, he's doing the same thing. The associate that actually called HR had texted me 3 days prior, calling me racist because I didn't give him any hours. Because if you have ever worked in GameStop as a part-time associate, you don't get but like 1 day a month, like 3 hours. So he was really mad about that apparently. So he was actually the one that called HR on me, I found out later, and told HR that I was making people uncomfortable and inviting people that worked with me to my house for like sexual reasons. And I laughed in the head of HR's face when he told me that. I laughed. I was like, are you serious? Have you seen the people working here? They're all a bunch of butter golems. You could just roll them all around. Like, I'm sorry. You at least make the complaint believable. I mean, I'm not going to be messing with any of these people. I've worked with really attractive people in these GameStops that didn't do anything. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen. Anyways, so apparently the ASM at the time had told this part-timer after he was mad at me for no hours to call HR and basically told him what complaint to give. Which it did get HR to the store because they probably reviewed my salary at the time, how much I was making annually, and was like, well, we on our way. Because they don't play around with that stuff when you have tenure. They look for any reason. So the head of HR tells me that. I laugh in his face. I'm obviously like, no, there's no truth to that. My DM like chuckled and was like, okay, yeah, like, this is a little over the top. Even after a moment, the HR manager kind of was like, yeah, that doesn't seem very realistic, and no one corroborated the story. Only that one associate was saying this, and no one else was saying it. There was actually other associates interviewed and didn't say anything. They were like, no, Cody's always been great. Cody's great. I'm a great man. He's always been top notch, and I was always by the book. So I figured I was going to go back up to the front because, okay, well, we're done here. Well, I want you to keep this in mind. When we went from salary to hourly, everyone was kind of confused on when we clock in, when we clock out, what's the guidelines. Because when you're on salary, you could literally just do anything, and it didn't matter if you were on salary. You could leave, you could come back, you could go get lunch, no one cared, it was fine. Well, when you were on hourly, they were really strict on basically how you handled your time card. And our district manager, word for word, told us if we are in the store during the workday, if we are in that store, we are to be clocked in, no exceptions. Now, if we walk out the store for any reason, we have to clock out, unless it's to go next door to get like a vacuum for that night or something, to borrow something from another store and then come right back. But any other reason, you were not allowed to be clocked out while you're in the store working. So the HR manager told me, well, we've been noticing some strange activity on your time card. And I looked at my DM and I was like, what? So what do you mean? I'm so diligent about that because of how they've been treating time cards. Because just in that year alone, 3 other store managers got terminated for time card fraud for various reasons that were never elaborated on, of course. So the HR manager told me, well, we noticed that you've been coming in at 8 a.m. And I was like, yeah, my DM told me that we have to be here at 8 a.m. now because we have to get to 44 hours to make our previous salary pay before we came off of salary. So if we didn't come in at 8 a.m., we weren't making our full pay anymore. And you best damn believe I'm not about to be a store manager at GameStop making $13.80 an hour because I'm not getting the overtime pay. No. I would rather suck on a shotgun. Like, are you serious? And I told him, of course I get there at 8 because I was instructed to do so. He said, well, yeah, you can get here at 8. And I was like, okay. And he was like, but we noticed that you would clock in and look around the store and then you would come to the back and sit at the desk. And I was like, well, yeah, every store manager in the company does that. And we sit at the desk and make a plan. I was told very clearly that if I'm in the store, I'm to be clocked in. And he told me that sitting at the desk constitutes a break. So I'm not supposed to be clocked in, which is the opposite of what I've been told every time that we've asked for details on how we handle our time card now. We've always been told to be clocked in the whole time, unless we leave the store for any reason other than going to get a vacuum or something. We are supposed to be clocked in. Well, he tells me something completely different. Oh, you're not allowed to be clocked in if you're sitting at your desk. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't know that. My DM told me that I'm supposed to be clocked in if I'm in the store, which my DM, of course, said, no, I didn't say it like that. And I was like, of course you did. Of course you did. He was sitting right beside me, so of course he was like, no, I didn't say that. He didn't want to get in trouble for it. So I was basically like, well, now I know, but I mean, can I get some clarification on something? If you come into the store at 8 a.m. and there's nothing to be alphabetized, there's nothing to be set up, there's literally nothing to do, everything in the store is top-notch, there's literally nothing to do, everything in the store is top-notch, what do I do? And he couldn't answer the question. Because I was told, do everything you need to do, and then basically wait for the doors to open, and be clocked in. But he's telling me that I can't sit at the desk and make a plan of action or do anything or look at schedules or do anything. I'm not allowed to sit at the desk. The desk in the office. Because if you're in an office in any other profession ever, you're clocked in, but not there. So he couldn't answer that question. He couldn't tell me what I was supposed to be doing. He just kept saying, well, you should find something to do. Like, I'm just going to rip the wall down. I could be one of those little kids just shuffling the wall down, and it's all falling down and raining on me, like all my tears, and just pick it back up and re-advertise it. Like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do in this situation? So, I was always told something different. And he stands up and he's like, okay, well, I need you to write this statement. And I, of course, was like, okay. So I wrote the statement, and I was like, this is what I was told. This is what I did. I didn't even barely mention the time card thing. I was talking about basically the crazy allegations. I was like, oh, this is insane. And I was like, none of this happened. There's no evidence this happened. Get real, basically. Come on, get real. And then I wrote, was instructed that I'm not allowed to be clocked in at my desk when I was told otherwise by my superior. Bar none. I thought we were done there. I was like, okay, we're done. I need to go back to work because I need to get my subs, my reserves, so I don't get fired. You know what I'm saying? I need to get back up there. I need to do what I need to do. I need to hit circle lock. I gotta do all these things. I'm so stressed out right now. Well, then he tells me, well, I don't know if you're going to be terminated for this, so I need to call my superior. This is what the HR manager said. He needs to get on his phone and do a conference call with his superiors to see if I'll be terminated for this. And I was like, terminated for what? What do you mean? He's like, oh, well, for sitting at the desk and being clocked in. I was told that if I'm in the store, I have to be clocked in. My district manager used the words, if you were inside GameStop, if you have come in the front door on a work shift, you would be clocked in. That's what he told our entire district. So everyone's doing it. When I worked for GameStop, I would walk into stores to drop something off for another store, and I'd walk in the back when the store manager would be sitting at his desk doing a schedule or something. And he's not on a break. He's just doing a schedule, and the part-timer was up front working the register. I mean, you're the store manager, and you're not allowed to sit at your desk. So he said he had to call his superiors. And right then I knew that he was going to say I was terminated, because I realized how long I'd been working for GameStop. I realized how much GameStop was paying me, contrast to other managers. And I was like, well, this is it, because my ASM, which basically orchestrated this entire thing, is going to come in at a store manager.